It's Sunday night, and that means it's time for our Paramotor Nation, bringing you some of the most influential people in the sport of paramotoring in America and around the world. Tonight's show is sponsored by Para Orange Products, providing not only bags but accessories every parapilot needs. CarolinaPPG, importers of power-to-fly paramotors and providing so much more. Fly My PPG, offering a full-service paramotor training experience. Florida Flight Sports, year-round training. You can do this. PPG Lights, countless patterns and colors on your paramotor. Lone Star Paramotor, foot launching, trike training classes, and much more. PPG Zone, your go-to place for all paramotor information. Aviator Paramotor, a cornerstone for paramotor training and paramotor equipment. Fly PPG, discovered powered paragliding, paramotor training on a field of dreams. Charlie Soap, supplying you with all natural laundry detergents and household cleaners. One Up Adventures and ParamotorProps.com, providing all paramotor training and adventure trips. Skylab SIV, teaching pilots of all skill levels collapse recovery and advanced maneuvers. True North Paramotor, offering American-made, fully customizable frames as well as wings and accessories. Blackhawk Paramotor aims to provide the safest and most powerful paramotoring equipment. Paraswag USA, your complete powered paragliding gear source. iFly Indiana provides training on their equipment or yours for $2,500. Wicked Wings Logo provides customizable glider logos. Check out all of our sponsors with links to their websites along with past episodes and much more information at www.ourparamotornation.com. And now it's time for this week's episode of Our Paramotor Nation. Hey everybody, it's Sunday night. Welcome back to Our Paramotor Nation. My name is David Wolf. If I haven't met you yet, welcome to episode 125. As always, filling in for PPG Gorilla is my very good friend. There he is. He is the man that was the original singer of Nirvana. He will come up to you at a flying and say, "What's up, dude? Deck." Johnny Gaspardo-Ripa, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, everybody?
How are you, bud?
Doing well yourself?
I'm good. You're going to Swanee this coming week,
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Thursday.
Everybody's got to come up and say hello to you. Busy week in the paramotoring community. What was it, 2 weeks ago tonight? Jeff Goyne hosted Our Paramotor Nation, and then just a few days later, he turned the keys over to Noah Rashada. Noah Rashada is the new president of the United States Powered Paragliding Association, and Jeff,
that's right.
That makes him the president emeritus. Big word. Look it up. All right, so there's that. We have a great show tonight, John. We've got, in a second, we're going to bring onto the show Jacki and Sean Hartman. Great couple, amazing story that they're going to share with us about how they got into paramotoring and the challenges that they have overcome. In the previews, in the announcements of the show, we said that there was a big announcement coming up. And
that's right.
I'm going to kind of tell you what it is right now.
Do you have to do it right now?
Well, yes, John, it's my show. So here's the announcement, everybody. This is the 125th episode, but it is also going to be the last regularly scheduled episode of Our Paramotor Nation. What does that all mean? What does that all look like? For that, John, they're going to have to wait to the end of the show, and we'll kind of discuss what that all means. But yes, this will be the last regularly scheduled episode. I've got a lot of people that I want to thank and recognize who have made this show what it is today. I think we've developed it really wonderfully. But we're going to do that all at the end because I really don't want to waste too much time keeping our guest waiting. Are you okay, John? You're upset.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm all right. There is some good news, John, that I did get a text this morning from PPG Gorilla. He said as of next week, he'll be able to come back full time.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Unfortunately,
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Rick.
Yeah. So, but what are you going to do on Sunday nights, Johnny?
Relax.
All right, there's that. You're going to be out of work, I guess, right? Let's bring Jacki and Sean onto the show. There they are. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey.
Awesome.
Good. Well, John, you got to meet. Oh, what does that say behind you, John? Looking for work. You're looking for work. Yes, I'll tell you what. I'll write you a letter of recommendation. You can give that to Robert Michaels. Maybe you can get a job on Thursday nights. Who knows?
Thank you very much.
My
David.
pleasure. So Jacki and Sean are here. John, you had the opportunity to meet them
That's right, at EFD.
at EFT, and I had the opportunity
Yeah.
to meet them at Parafreight Fest just a couple weeks ago. So Sean and Jackie are here, and I want to start off by talking about giving them a little background. Guys, tell us first of all how you two met, and let's start off with that. How'd you guys
All
meet?
right. Uh, I met him when I was a sophomore in high school.
That would be accurate.
Great answer. Okay, so you guys are sophomores in high school.
Yes.
That's something unfortunate happened. Jackie, what happened about 16 years ago to you?
When I was 16, August 3rd of 2003, I got in a car accident and got ejected from the vehicle and ended up breaking my back, which left me paralyzed from about the waist down.
So, Sean, you guys were dating at this time, correct?
Yes, we were. We've
Okay,
been dating for just shy of a year.
for just shy of a year. I mean,
Mhm.
wow, that's I can't even imagine like, my life at that point if I'm dating a girl, not sure if this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with and this happens. I mean, that sounds pretty damn shallow actually now that I think about the words that just came out of my mouth. But
Yeah.
I mean that's really freaking shallow of me. Guys, good night. What an ass. Um no, I mean that's amazing. So obviously you're in love with this girl, the sophomore. You guys dated through high school. How did that change your life? How did that change both of your lives? Obviously, Jackie changed your life pretty profoundly, but talk about where you guys were at that point mentally in your lives and what you were going through.
Oh, well, it changed my life more than his, obviously.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was just 16 years old. So I was just, playing sports in school and doing what a normal 16-year-old would do. And then when that happened, it just kind of put everything to a halt. And it was just all about the wheelchair and the rehab. And then I mean, I don't know, how did it change for you?
I really can't say I don't have any comparison to anything else. So just kind of took it as it came and, pushed through and later on found things that we could do and got better parking
Oh,
spots.
jeez. Now let me ask you this. I mean, Jackie, I would imagine you for sure, but either one of you, you two, Sean, did we talk about Resurgence PPG quite a bit on our show, and that's our 501c3 that we support, we love, getting adaptive veterans in the air. And, one of the things I've said many times is in talking to some of the gentlemen that have gone through the program is that as they're dealing with their daily lives and having to balance their lives with the PTSD that they deal with from the things that they've seen, that they've experienced while defending our rights and protecting our country. Um, Obviously, I would think with this traumatic experience, you guys would have some PTSD, some depression. Is that accurate to say? And if so, at that time, what were you doing, or how were you dealing with it?
I would say I don't know about PTSD, but I did go through bouts of depression. But I think that honestly, what got me through it is just family and Sean. Because I mean, if I didn't have a support system, I would have completely fell apart. But my depression really wasn't too bad. But I think I owe that a lot to just having the support that I did.
And I wouldn't let her slip too deep into depression. I try to be a pretty optimistic, positive person. So, keep pushing on to the next thing, something to look forward to and stuff to do. So I wouldn't say that I ever dealt with any depression. It was upsetting, yes, but
I
not
understand.
much I can change.
Yeah, look, this is my life. This is the man and the woman that I choose to be with, and we're gonna figure out how to make this work, and we're gonna have a great life regardless. And then how long after that did you guys get married?
We got married in 2011.
Okay,
So
so about is that 8 years?
just shy of 10 years or 9 years.
Okay,
No, 10 years.
and you have a
Yeah.
family. I saw this beautiful little boy at the Fright Fest who won the best costume.
Yeah,
Just
we
abs.
got two boys.
That's yeah, I met them both. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So now I guess we're up to the part where Sean decides he wants to become a paramotor pilot. And I know before the show you said you were watching nonstop watching Ripman riding videos over and over
Yeah.
again, and that's what influenced you and motivated you. You know, that one video particular where you saw Ripman flying to McDonald's, and you were just, wow, this is amazing. So tell us, Sean, in reality, how did you really get turned on to paramotoring?
Well, I've always been very interested in aviation, period. You know, I always wanted to fly. And I'd seen it around, but my first move was fixed wing, going after a private pilot license, flying fixed wing. And I pursued that and I went that route for a while. I never did finish up my license, but I got to looking into the expense of the airplane, the hangaring, insurance, annuals, maintenance. And I told her if I did finish it, my next move would be buy a plane. And just putting the numbers together, I didn't like it. So I started looking more into PPG.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd watch videos for probably 2 years. And one year on vacation, two guys come cruising down the beach.
No way.
Right where we're sitting there. And I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm nudging her going, that's what I want to do. That's it. So we come home and I started researching places to train.
Mm-hmm.
And it came down to two. They're almost the exact same distance. And I compared prices, and Fly PPG at the time, Discover Power Paragliding, they won. I put my life in the hands of the lowest bidder, basically. But it turned out, it was a great experience.
Don't feel bad. I did the same thing.
There you go. Most people don't think of that way. They look at the price. So they're cheaper. Yeah, you're putting your life in the hands of the lowest bidder. But I survived.
So tell us a little bit about your training, your experience with Fly PPG.
I went in knowing I was going to love it before I ever did it, naturally. So it was, I did 7 days, 7 days straight, and every day was just a blast. And actually I had perfect weather the entire time for forwards,
Awesome.
reverse, everything. So it wasn't too long, before we soloed and flew. But, the whole group, getting to know everybody and around, Fly PPG, the staff, it was wonderful. And, getting to fly. It was an awesome experience. And then after training, I, found gear, and Mike brokered the deal for me. I bought a used motor and used wing, and he brokered the deal and got gear in. Well, while I was waiting for that, he called me after training. Hey, you want to come fly across country? You can fly the training gear. I'm like, yeah, man. So I drove over there, I think 2 weeks after training, and flew the training gear just to fly again, But no, wonderful experience, and that's why I really looked forward to Jacki's trainings. I wanted to be able to relive that week because it was just so much fun.
So Jacki, at that time though, that Sean's going through this training, you had no intention of flying. You just were there to support your husband, correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that I supported him in the beginning. I thought he was kind of crazy for even attempting to do this.
Of course. I think we've heard the
It
story.
was out of the norm for him, Jacki.
Yeah.
For the first year and a half, the Fly PPG team thought that my wife was,
Made
up because they never met her for I think the first year and a half, and I kept talking about her like, guys, I'm going to bring her with me, and every time I showed up she wasn't with me, so they thought that I was had a fake wife that I was talking about.
Jacki, what did you think when he was watching all these videos of guys flying? Like, were you saying, what the heck are you doing?
He was so obsessed, and it got to the point where, every night it was hours he'd be watching, and I'm like, turn that stuff off.
That's funny.
All right, I'm gonna confess. There was a time that my wife said I recognized Kurt Pfister's voice more than I recognize yours. Will you shut that crap off?
Oh gosh.
True. Unfortunately, it's very true. So that's
at
cool.
the time it was YouTube was flooded with Kurt Pfister when I was watching him as well. Wasn't that much Tucker out there then?
No, there was. Unfortunately, too much Pfister too. Now I can say anything I want. Open up the floodgates. I'm gonna hold back. No one's safe tonight. All right. So you were going through the normal fears that most spouses do. Oh my God, is he gonna kill himself? Right? All these things are going through your mind.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
All right.
We didn't have life insurance, so yeah, I was sweating.
any horror stories that he came home and really just knocked your socks off to the point where you're saying you got to stop doing this?
No, and I think if anything would have happened, he probably wouldn't have told me about it because
Oh,
then
That's right.
then I would have wanted him to stop.
I
So
would like to say that I would have kept my mouth shut, but I came home on the seventh flight covered in motor oil and my trike was up in a tree. So I couldn't really hide it.
Oh, no.
Like how, yeah, I'm looking at this and going, I can't keep this from her. I'm gonna have to go home and get a ladder. It sucked. Yeah. So yeah, I was bound for failure there. So what happened next? Was it Sean saying, "I really want you to do this, and this is something we can do together," or Jacki, did you have any interest at all? What happened first?
I finally went to an event with him. I think it was Fright Fest. It was my first event, and
Okay.
then that's when I started meeting the people and talking to people and stuff. And I didn't have any intention on flying at all, but he just kept saying how he wanted somebody to fly with back at home, and I knew that it would make it more fun for him, and he was just on me about it all the time about doing it. And then I figured, why not? I mean, I knew about the trike. I knew that I could do it and train, and I figured, sure, I'll give it a go.
Okay, now,
Oh,
I go ahead, Johnny.
good idea. Oh, I was going to ask, were there any special modifications to the trike?
Oh yeah, definitely. You might want to tell him more about that.
Oh, we bought the motor at Fright Fest. Well, a year ago, I bought the motor and started talking with Mike about the trike build. Asking questions, seeing what we could come up with to work. To work safe for her and everything worked right. So then we spent basically the winter communicating, through the winter here and there with different ideas and going over there and looking at design ideas that him and Matt had come up with. And by the time she trained, they had it put together pretty well. But no, what they did is they took, instead of just the foot pegs on the front, they put loops and also footrest with straps to where if the trike were to ever come detached from the motor, it would drop, her feet would slip out and wouldn't be hanging.
So what we're
And
looking at right,
also,
Sean, what we're looking at right now on the screen is the front axle of Jackie's trike, and so we can see that there's a place to put her feet. There's so and for we're gonna see another picture here. Let's bring it up right now. And this is Jacki sitting on her trike, and you can see there's like this little hand thing that's on the first picture. I'll go back to that first picture. It's laying down, and then on the second picture, it's up above her knees there. So what is that for? And we can see in this picture too, her feet are secured into the loops on the trike. So can you walk us through that?
We knew that we needed a thing to be able to steer it since I couldn't use my feet to do the steering. So they knew that we needed to do something where I could use my hands to steer it. So
and
they added that.
just getting to the wing, driving across the field. When she goes to launch, the trike is specially designed by Mike Mixer to
Right.
self steer under the wing.
Okay.
So when she goes to launch, if she's directly into the wind, the wing comes up. If it turns or she turns it, the trike follows it. And it's self steering
cool.
that way. You don't have to give it the inputs.
Very cool.
So
And the handle is just for ground handling, basically.
gotcha. So just so everybody understands too, for me personally, when I'm flying a trike, I like to steer a lot with my feet and get, almost to the point where I don't even need to use my hands very much to steer underneath it. I like to take my feet and turn into the wing. If it's on the left side is down, I'll turn left so it comes underneath it. So Jacki obviously doesn't have the ability to do that. If you are tuning in late, Jacki is paralyzed from the waist down, correct? Waist down?
Yes.
Yes, waist down. So she's doing everything launching with her hands, and that is just only to get to and from the glider and back off the airfield. Hey, real quick, gotta say thank you. This man always does this, and we so appreciate it, and I love his videos. And that's our friend Will Fly. Will Fly made a $5 donation in the super chat, and he says, Resurgence PPG rocks, and I'll miss David and Ripa. Oh my gosh, dude, don't. My daughter asked me before the show, she goes, Dad, are you going to get emotional like you always do? I said, nope, going to be fine. Going to be fine. So, Will, thanks so much, buddy. We really appreciate that. Thanks, buddy. And thanks, everybody, for donating to Resurgence PPG. But we'll talk more about all that at the end of the show, too. And, I don't think we're going to be gone forever, but we'll talk about that change in a little bit. Okay, so Jackie, you're now riding around this little thing. I want to go back before we talk about that though. So now you're thinking, yeah, maybe I'll do this, right? Maybe I'll do this. No fear at all, just seeing everybody doing it. No fear.
Oh man, I was so scared and nervous. I had a lot of anxiety before we even went there. It
Okay.
was bad.
And how did you
I
over?
still have anxiety, Jackie.
I
Don't
do too.
worry.
John sees some of the.
But
John tells me all the time, you should see this guy taking off at my airfield, man. This, kidding. So, um, okay, so these anxieties, how are you overcoming them? Is it really just, at one point you can think, I really don't need to do this, but was it the commitment that you made to Sean, to Mike?
yeah, I didn't want to quit and be that kind of person and back out. So when we got there, I'd say the first day training was good, but then when I tried to do motor kiting and stuff, I got really discouraged because I had a couple accidents where I kind of rolled and I bent my frame, I broke a prop, and I just kind of really broke down one day thinking, why am I doing this? But I pushed through and I trained with four other guys, and I was the first one that did the solo, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I think
And
we push through. I think we do this stuff because we want to continually challenge ourselves, and especially when we can't do something, it even puts up more of a challenge to ourselves,
right,
right? I
yeah,
mean, you knew that you were like, "What am I nuts doing this?" But you're like, "You know what? I'm going to do this." You know?
yeah. I didn't want to back out now.
Yeah,
Went
I
too
got this far. So
far.
I crashed a few times. I fixed the motor and I started up again, got right back on the horse. And, you did the same thing with the trike.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what you did, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal.
the way I've heard the story is, Jackie, they're thinking about, they're telling you, okay, we're gonna practice again, and taxing and all that stuff, and you went over to Sean and says, does that mean I'm gonna fly? And you said what? I think you said.
Well, they started telling me the LZ pattern and how you fly once you get in the air. And I said, why are you telling me? Why are you telling me this? Am I going up? And they're like, no, we're just telling you. And then I asked Sean. I said, I'm totally going up. I said, am I going up? And he did.
I don't know.
That's
So
great.
I kind of knew that it was happening.
Yeah. Now at that point, I think, did they kick you off the field, Sean, or said just get your butt in the air and fly? And
Yeah, you got up in the air, didn't you?
I did that night. Yes, I was getting nervous anyway. So yes, I launched and I got about a mile north and was just watching from the distance, and I watched her fly her solo flight from the air,
that's awesome. Cool, man. I mean,
which I didn't want to get in too close to her, being it was her first flight. So I just stayed out away from her.
I think one of my favorite things to hear from new pilots or from families of pilots is the emotions that you go through in that first flight. So tell us, each of you, what kind of emotions you were going through, Jackie, as you launched, flew, and then landed, and Sean, seeing your wife make this moment that I mean, gosh, you only dreamed about, because, like you said earlier, you're looking for things that the two of you can do together, that you can enjoy together, and this is something that you fell in love with, and now you want your spouse to do it too. So tell us about those emotions, guys.
Well, mine was just pure panic and fear when I got off the ground. And I was just like, couldn't wait to land. But then I didn't want to land because I was in my mind thinking I'm going to crash trying to land. I was just so nervous.
Mhm.
And whenever that's right, you went up, flew your solo. I came in, I landed ahead of her, got my gear off the side of the field. So when she landed, I could meet her. And it was a little emotional, it was excitement to see her fly, and it was a very exciting moment to see her actually do it and come in and land safely. And oh yeah, it was,
So a story I've told many times in the past is that, when I started flying, I just couldn't. I wished my wife could be up there with me, or my kids to be up there with me, and I was always like, saying, "Oh my gosh, I saw this tonight, I saw that tonight. Well, I just wish you could be up there with me, so you could experience the joy that I get from this as well." Which ultimately led me to do tandems. And now you get, I'm sorry, John. I just put John to sleep. He fell asleep. John, wake up. No, but it's the joy of experiencing it with your family. And now you get to do this and you're thinking, Sean, oh my gosh, now I get to go home and we get to do this all the time, right?
That was the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious this, Jacki. I mean, besides the obvious, yeah. Let me just ask this question first. The challenges that you face with being a paraplegic. I'm sorry, a paraplegic now. What,
Nice.
what other challenges have you faced just as a pilot would? What difficulties have you had, and are they related to being paraplegic or not?
No, the difficulties that I have nothing to do with my paraplegia at all. It's mainly to do with just my mind, and like this whole thing, I never realized how much mental, it takes a lot of mental. And I cannot remember to keep my hands up. And that's the biggest thing with my launches is I drop my hands, it seems like every time, and it pisses me off every time I do it because I know not to do it, but almost every time. So my launches are just kind of sketchy.
And she does not listen to me at all if I try to tell her to put her hands up.
Yeah, you're probably the worst
one
person.
voice that she will listen to, and that is Mike Mixer.
Okay.
If he tells her, she is, oh, yeah. If I tell her, yeah, forget it. So she doesn't listen to me at all.
Jacki,
even in flight, I try to tell her something.
Do you ever walk yourself, Jacki? So like sometimes I think a lot of us pilots, whether we're launching or landing, we're obviously doing a pre-flight checklist before we go up, and same thing as we're getting ready to launch. We're thinking about, okay, I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to step. I'm going to lift. I'm going to pull. I'm going to lean back as hard as I can, and that's how I launch from foot launching. And same thing when I'm coming into land. We think about, okay, coming into land, where's my spot? I need to go this way, this. And you're talking yourself, and you're making your next mental. I mean, so do you ever think about, okay, I'm going to bring this glider up, and then I'm going to pull, but I'm not going to pull down to my butt. Do you ever think in terms of that to help you out?
I do. I always tell myself before I launch, hands up, hands up. But then once it gets up, it's like I just can't stop it. My hands just go down, and I don't know why. Still working on that.
That's awesome.
I told Sean that I need to put my Mixer always talked me up. I said maybe you should do a voice recording, and I can just play it right before I launch. That tells me what to do.
That soothing voice in your ear, and anybody that's trained with me, go when you're ready. Yeah. And that right there, for some reason, changes everything.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I want to take a step back and just say thank you to Torqued Off. He earlier made a $20 donation in the super chat. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Very, very, very kind of you. $20. Wow. Thank you. Sean, from what you saw, the training, how you were trained, how Jacki was trained, how much different was it?
Well, I could walk.
Jeez. Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
That's brutal, man.
Wow. Good night. Can't be
but, no, as far as the classroom part, that part was all the same except for Jackie sitting there when they're going through, the riser, A line, B line, holding it up. She's just sitting there looking off in space going, oh, Sean will take care of that, laying out the wing. Sean will take care of that. Motor maintenance. Sean's going to do that. So I don't know if she paid as much attention to that as she should have.
Okay.
And her learning to kite, I was concerned about that. And what we actually had to do to get her kiting was Mike hooked her up to the tow machine and just towed her real easy, just enough to bring the glider up to where she could learn to control it on the ground. And we did that for
first couple
days, yes, before she even tried motor kiting, bringing it up using the power of the motor. But no, one major difference here. One major difference was when I was doing it, it was hot, and I'd get across the field, lay the wing down. I got to pull the wing in, walk clear to the other end of the field. Well, here comes Jacki. She gets to the end of the field. We unhook the wing. I pull in the wing so I can walk to the end of the field with her wing, and she starts her motor and just zooms down there,
Of course.
Oh, yeah. So That was the difference. Is I got to carry the wing in my training and her training.
Jackie's be like, handicap sticker has its advantages, I see. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh yeah, and the other guys that I trained with were totally jealous over that. They're like sweating, and I'm just like, hey.
So we've got a couple comments and a couple questions from the chat. I'm going to start asking those now. So Bill H wanted to ask about the RV retrofit. Retrofit. Right. The RV retrofit.
Our trailer.
The trailer.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can.
That's a great video. By the way, let's pause for station identification. Jacki's YouTube channel. Great YouTube channel. Just, you know what? Look, not everybody's going to be a John Ripa quality video. Let's just get past that right now. But Jacki's got great content and does a great job. And it's fun to hear her talk. I mean, just hearing a real person talk and not doing all the razzle-dazzle video editing. It's fun. And they did a great job with the trailer. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
It's
Hell on
Wheels.
Hell on Wheels. John, would you mind putting that in the chat, John?
Working on it.
And then, do you know how many subscribers do you have?
I think last time I checked was 170.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get you over 200 tonight. All right. So if everybody maybe can jump on that sometime after the show, John will put it in there, or if you can,
it's in there now.
Put it on a side screen. Go ahead and subscribe to her and his. And they had a great video walking through the trailer. Go ahead, Sean. Tell us about that camper of yours.
Yeah, we really ought to remake that video because I skipped a lot of stuff that I didn't think people would care about, and it turns out they really did care about the details and my plumbing and all that. But just something. My oldest boy Zeke and I, we looked at toy haulers at one point, because first thing I did is I trained and I went to Paraplegic Fest. We stayed in a motel, and I didn't like leaving the fly and going to the motel and getting up at 5 in the morning to get back out there to fly in the morning. I'm like, I'd like to stay on site. So we looked at toy haulers. Well, the problem with that was the ramp was too steep for her. Getting a camper that was built with a lift for her was definitely out of the question for us. I wasn't going to spend that kind of money. So the next option was, and I'd seen Scott Starbeck, every name everybody knows. He had kind of built one, and I'd seen it. I'm like, well, that's a good idea, So I sat down here and I started just drawing up plans for a trailer, coming up with ideas, folding beds, open bathroom, kitchen area, no walls, no doors. That way Jackie can get through it real easy. Cargo trailer's low slung, so the ramp is not steep. And, then it just kind of came down to what was going to work, what wasn't. I drew up my plans. It turned out I needed 22 feet for it to work out right. I could have went 24 for the extra space, and I didn't. I went with 22, so it is crammed. If the beds and bathroom, everything, our bed is right against the ramp door when it's closed. But, I just kind of started putting it together, and I ordered the trailer and went and got it. Then next thing was, first I was looking for a bathroom vanity for a kitchen counter, and that I couldn't find anything I liked. So hit Menards, got clearance cabinets and countertop,
all right, and
just kind of piecing it together. And it fell together. Well, I take it back. I put the shower in first. That was my main concern. I got to have a shower daily. So I put the shower in, then I get my cheap cabinets and I put them in, and I got a gap. So I build something in there, and I started slowly putting it together. And I think it was about a month I had the thing pretty much put together. I just had to go through and finish everything out.
Yeah.
But it kind of fell together accidentally. That's all.
David's listening to you very carefully because he wants to get some ideas.
Well, I already saw it. I already saw theirs. And
I know. I'm just teasing.
I'm now doing my second cargo trailer build out, and I think that's probably me and John's on our daily conversations is me getting excited about building up my cargo trailer and just all the stuff.
His first one consisted of a wire shelf with a microwave on it and an air mattress.
Mute him. All right. Yeah, wasn't that great? Next one's going to be better. Hey, my brother from another mother, my very good friend Tim Gaskins, Bad Apple, the branch manager, he says, what an inspiration both Jackie and Sean are. Just proves limits are what you put on yourself. That's beautiful. So thank you, Tim. Mike Crotchet says, hey, Jackie and Sean. Buddy Mike, saw him at the fly-in. Will Fly. Again, Jackie is an absolute inspiration. Has she ever thought about creating a group to inspire others in a similar situation who may want to fly. Jackie.
That's kind of why I started the YouTube channel, is to try to get not just paraplegics, but anybody that has limitations physically, just try to get them to see that something like this is out there and that they could do it. So yeah.
That's awesome. After that, we had a donation in the super chat. Sean Smith, thank you so much for that $20 donation. Sean, we really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Back over here, I've got Torqued Off says, happy to help out from the super chat donation before. I've been super blessed in the sport, just trying to pay it forward. Wow, what a great statement. What a great statement. You know, I think that's, John, why you and I both have decided to do this show for as long as we have, is because we felt super blessed. We've met some amazing people in the sport, and we wanted to pay it forward. And, you know, Tim, who I just mentioned, he sent me a wonderful text. You know, Tim's not just a friend of mine too, confidant, but I also look to him for advice and for guidance. And just, you know, I appreciate his kind words that he said earlier, saying that, you know, how this show has really, you know, helped made this, it kind of helped promote the sport, made it educational, made it fun. So really appreciate all those kind words. Moving on, we have Fly Baby Fly. Sean made Jackie stronger, and Jackie made Sean stronger. We need two to tango. It's blessed to have a great couple like that. Give support to ourselves. So that's awesome. Mark Rogers says, I'll join. Not sure. Okay. Resurgence PPG. Todd Scandret says, please ask Jackie to come join us for the Warrior Games in San Antonio, Texas, September 2022. Jackie, are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
Okay. I will get you in touch with Resurgence PPG and Todd, and they are going to be a part of the Warrior Games, San Antonio, Texas, this upcoming September. That's going to be something amazing and something you guys should definitely look into. Okay. Where was I at here? Fly Baby Fly PPG says, I subscribed to Jackie and Sean's channel. How about that? There's one. All right. And then Resurgence also says, you're always welcome to join me in the Resurgence trailer. Let me tell you something. You guys think you're both real PPG pilots? You're not. Not until you've cuddled with Todd in a trailer.
Oh, jeez.
It's true. It's true. I'm going to go back to what you were just talking about. So you were saying that's why you created the channel. What are you hoping to do with the channel as far as, yes, you just said to inspire other people who may be having challenges to be able to fly.
Yeah.
How do you think you're going to be able to reach people? I mean, how else can you reach people?
No, we've been throwing around ideas on different video content to do. Maybe not just flying videos, but I don't know. We've been discussing.
Yeah.
That.
She's got a lot of groups on Facebook. You know, people with limitations, and that's I told her. I said a lot of them may want to see how you have to chase two boys across the yard. You know. Stuff like that. I said to stuff that seems like annoying or boring to you, other people may want to see it. But
that's true.
You know.
So I've been trying to think of new content to do, and I mean, we'll see.
That's a great point, Sean. I mean, in a weird way, your lives, what you do, I mean, what we do as paramotor pilots is extraordinary. Okay. And then to be able to do it with the challenges that you have as well and how you overcome them, that's inspirational, and that's what people want to see. That's what people want to see. And you know, I mean, let's be honest, people don't want to see just people just flying. They want to be inspired, they want to be educated, right, John?
Yep, for sure.
So, and I think you have that winning combination, not to mention you guys are wonderful people with great attitude. So there you go. Jackie, how many flights have you had so far?
I'd say maybe 12 10 or 12.
Okay. I quit keeping track after the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Not very many.
You're up around 20 at this point, I would say. See, her training, the weather did not cooperate very much, so she didn't get that many flights in training that, and she should have flown in the morning, but it was cold, and she refused to get up. And, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she didn't get that many flights in training, and we'll probably go visit in the spring and freshen up.
Okay.
Somebody that she will listen to.
You guys aren't going to do any winter flying?
I'm not.
Now she gets cold at 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
So
I'm with you,
I
Jack.
was going to say, sounds like somebody else I know on the show.
If I'm not on in a t-shirt and shorts, it's not happening.
Yeah.
in my first year flying, I flew through the winter. And now if it gets below 60 degrees, you can pretty much forget it.
Ha. You guys are missing out on some of the best flying, I'll tell you that. And you are too, John. So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, guys, first of all, thanks for being on the show. I mean, I think for some people it would be something difficult to speak about, these challenges. Here's a question. Chris Fenimore says, will Jacki like to get her tandem exemption? I don't know if would you ever get your tandem exemption?
No.
I mean, first of all, you got to have a lot more experience than just a dozen flights, but no desire to get your tandem? Because
I don't have any desire, but I would like Sean to get the tandem. That way I can still experience it with him, but not be responsible for
There
the
you go.
flight.
Interesting.
You guys do have two little boys that I'm sure would love. I mean, how do your boys feel about seeing mom and dad go flying?
See, I think they think it's cool, but they're so used to it and then so used from Sean doing it. It's just what
It's normal
It's
to
normal.
them at this point.
Okay.
Although Zeke was at basketball practice one night, and we did go buzz the basket, them right along the bat where they're practicing the basketball court. There's a bean field, so we got down real low and buzzed by. And as we're coming, Zeke just turns, oh yeah, that's my dad, and keeps going.
Yeah,
That's
there's
cool.
my mom.
Yeah, and everybody stops, is watching, and it's no big deal to him. He's seen so much of it.
Jackie, I know in conversations that we've had, you do some inspirational talks, correct?
I wouldn't say really inspirational.
Motivational.
I did a lot of speeches in regards to different kind of stem cell stuff that was going on
right.
that I had went through.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully you're going to continue, and this next summer, as that breaks and the warm weather breaks, you're going to be doing a lot more flying as well, and you'll be able to, be more and more of an inspiration, not just talking about stem cell, but everything that it's allowed you to do as well, which is awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to add before we talk about the next topic that John and I need to talk about? Anything else to add at this point? Any other questions? We might have a couple.
When's the next flying we'll be able to see you guys at? Anything in the plans?
Dave, was it?
Purdens. I was planning on making Purdens this summer.
Purdens not.
What about
wait.
Bad Apples in May?
Purdens not till September. That's like the summer's over at that point.
Bad Apples is kind of far.
Yeah,
It's
that's
Bad
pretty good
Apples
haul.
kind of far.
Yeah, when it is in May.
I think
School
that-
schedule.
But it is the biggest one.
I think
Yeah.
I think the Fly PPG people come out and they're a little bit further than you. Oh, but it might be too far.
Oh, they got more interstate though.
Man. Well, all right.
I-
Hopefully
We'll
see.
see. We don't have nothing's concrete yet.
All right. That's good.
I want to go to Moab. That's what I want to do.
That would be a good
Flying.
time.
It's not a fly-in, but that's where I want to go.
Maybe she'll put a fly-in together at Moab.
Yeah, she'll make it
There
into
you
a
go.
fly.
There you go.
There.
All right. Thank you, guys. We're going to come back to you in a little bit, just in a few minutes for some more words. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And if you have any other questions in the chat, we can try to ask those at the ends as well. So I guess the next thing I'll talk about is this announcement of this being the last regularly scheduled show. I'm going to bring John on here with me here, so both of us are on. John, sit up a little bit. You're upset. John's upset. So, just like Sean and Jackie, you could tell how family-oriented they are, which is why Jackie's flying, because this bond of family. And, this is 125 shows in, and it's I'm very proud of John, stop crying. Oh my gosh. I'm very proud of where this show has come, but it's been a big sacrifice. What we see when we watch this show or other shows is an hour-long program somewhere around there, and that becomes a big sacrifice. not just for that hour, but for everything that leads up to the show. And John, I can you guess how much time we put into this show throughout the week?
Quite a bit.
It's a lot, and it's a lot to
Yeah.
sacrifice from family time. So that's the number one reason why I think we came to this conclusion is, hey, let's put this to bed. Does it mean it's the final show? No, I don't think so. I mean, I know John has said to me, let's do it at least once a month, and maybe we will. I can't make a commitment to that yet. But there's a couple reasons. I mean, not just family. I want to be with my family on Sunday nights and throughout the week and really focus more time on them. I said I just want to make a T-shirt that says "I just want to fly," and that's really true. I just want to fly. Um, but I think content is really important, and
Yeah.
you know, John and I sometimes will sit there for a long time on the phone thinking about guests and who we want to have on. We've had a lot of amazing people on the show, haven't we, Johnny?
I think we've had some good people on the
we,
show for
we
sure.
we've had a lot of great content. We've had a lot of education, and at some point, it's like, well, A's are still A's, brakes still slow the glider down, and reserve is still thrown the same exact way. What else are we really teaching? And I think for me, maybe we can call it what do you call it? Creative writer's block, something like that, where it's at the point where like I'm not sure where else I want to go at this point. Um, and I don't want to just create a chat hangout. Anybody can create a chat hangout, and that's fine. And there, but I just don't want to see our Paramotor Nation do that. And certainly I don't want to sacrifice Sunday nights just to do that as well. But like John and I talked about on the phone, if there's a topic to talk about, if there's someone that's we feel like we should bring on the show, we'll pop back in on a Sunday night at 9 o'clock, and that'll be the time that we decide to do it. Right, Johnny?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are a couple people I want to say thank you to who have really helped to make this show what it is today. First of all, I got to thank my family, my wife, my 4 kids. Um, I try to bring them involved and keep them involved. You've seen my girls help out with the wheel. You've seen my son Brennan on the show. My wife, she tries to stay in the background and let me do my thing. But I mean, again, they have made such a huge sacrifice to give me the opportunity to do this. I want to thank really the person that inspired me to do this, Robert Michaels. I sent a message to Robert earlier today letting him know this decision. Robert has an amazing gift. He really does. These 2 shows have gone and they've taken their own separate paths and their own identities, which is great. And Robert has an amazing gift that I'm really, really in awe of. Um, some of my favorite shows are when Robert has the microphone and no guest because he can talk about his experiences and he really does a great job of educating his audience. And I don't feel that confidence that he has. And he's done a great job and that's a show I'll definitely continue to watch because I do gain a lot out of it when I watch it. I want to thank the people that have hosted the show in the past, and that's Brandon McLeod, Dave Ruff, Nicole Phoenix, and Rick Davies. I talked to all of them in the past 2 weeks, let them know that this was happening, and even Nicole Phoenix, who may be a future guest. She's got some really great things going on in her life right now. She said this show has really been a big part of my life at some point. For a while, it was a really big part, and she was grateful that she had the opportunity to do that. Next person I want to thank is Todd Scandret. Todd's one of the first people I called on to be a guest on the show, and while I will continue to support Resurgence PPG as much as I can, it's been an honor to work with Todd and talk with Todd, and hopefully he'll continue to talk with me a little bit here and there. But in all seriousness, it's been an honor for me to bring Resurgence to life on the show. I do it on almost a daily basis in my career, talking to people when I go into their homes to sell them a product. I talk about Resurgence PPG any chance I can. And I highly encourage everybody else out there watching the show to do the same. Support our vets, help get some of these guys up in the air, do everything we can. Next, the sponsors of the show. We've had some sponsors. We mentioned Michael Mixer, Fly PPG, One Up Adventures. Oh my gosh, Fly My PPG. And I'm missing some as well. But all the sponsors, they've been absolutely wonderful, supportive of the show. I talked to all of them in the last 2 weeks, and they all said, except for Craig Taylor, who's watching the show. They all said, David, we totally understand you're doing this for the right reasons, and so very excited, that kind of bittersweet as some have said, that they don't want to see the show end on a weekly basis, but yet they totally understand that this is for the right reasons. And I'm really grateful for all their support. Also, I want to thank people, the Patreons, people like Shondor, people like Hot Buttered Steve, who made a $20 donation to the show just a few moments ago and says, Dave, if you're done, it's obvious that now we should finally get an apartment together. Thank you, Dave and Rip. I'm glad you're around for this year for me. He's awesome. All the people in the super chat that have made donations, all the people that have watched, even if you didn't have the means to make a super chat donation, like Chris Fenimore just did a $5 donation in the super chat. Sunday nights are for flying again. Absolutely, they are, Chris. Totally true. So thank you all for watching. Really appreciate that support. We're not done. We're not done here because I still got some more stuff to go through as well. Last but not least, I got to thank you, John. Now I'm going to start getting choked up because John's been my partner longer than anybody else. He's been here supporting me, calls me every 10 minutes just to make sure I'm doing okay. And I appreciate every second.
It's amazing we're still friends.
It is amazing. We are still friends. So there it is. So that's it on the thanks. Yeah, but it's got to be family first for everybody. Always family first, even over flying, family first. I want to say a couple other things too. A couple things that have bothered me in the last few weeks is what we call the paradrama. As I tell my children, treat others as you want to be treated. I mean, I'm not going to go into details. I think everybody knows the details out there. You know, if you've got a beef with someone, take it up in private. For God's sakes, it doesn't do any help to the community if you're bashing people, whether it's on a YouTube video, their products, or bashing them for any other reason. That's the kind of stuff I feel. That's my own personal opinion. You can disagree, but I feel like it should be done in private. You know, it's you know, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of people in this paramotoring community, a lot of schools.
It's a pretty good community too, David.
It's a
we
really
have to
damn
say.
good community. There's some great people in this community.
Really.
And I've got the opportunity to watch schools teach. You know, that's I guess a little perk that I've had, and I see how busy they are. It blows my mind that they can teach the number of hours that they teach, handle orders or try to handle orders, and try to handle people breaking equipment, need replacement, this, that, and the other, and still have a family life too. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I really appreciate how hard they are. And I think a lot of times we expect these small businesses to behave like big corporate businesses, where you purchase something, you're going to get it the next day. I mean, we live in the Amazon world now, where I just ordered a new pump for my cargo trailer, and I'm getting it tomorrow. That's not how the rest of the world works, especially now in the world that we live in. So I think patience, being compassionate for our fellow person out there, that's going to go a long way. One more thing, and this is a huge mistake that I made, is in regards to making YouTube videos. If you're the type of person that doesn't want our sport to be regulated, which I gotta believe that most everybody that watches the show or that flies doesn't want our sport to be regulated, quit making YouTube videos that say, oh my God, I almost died. Oh my God, I crashed into a tree. That's this type of stuff, John. I think that the FAA is going to say, oh, you know, maybe we should look into this paramotoring thing and make some regulations to keep them safer. I think the less
God, I
attention,
hope not.
that's the attention that we don't need, right? And part of me wants us to be regulated because a lot of times, I've lost one LZ in the last 2 months because people were doing what they weren't supposed to be doing. And I'd rather keep that LZ and have a little bit of regulation on me. So, yeah. Hold on, one more page. Yeah, I have a note on here too, John. You're right. We're an extraordinary group of people. We want to keep our paramotor nation strong, keep it positive, keep it something enjoyable for everybody. Fly safe, be smart, pre-flight. You know, John, that's what we talked about, the pillars of the show, supporting Resurgence PPG, talking about safety, and entertaining, right? So there's that. Saw a couple other comments come in here too. Resurgence PPG, you guys have had some great guests. Even me, thank you for your time and effort, dedication. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, buddy. Mark Rogers says, love Robert Michaels. Yep, absolutely. And hold on. Torqued off. Ripman Ryden, I'm not able to watch every week, but I just want you to know that you have done an amazing job with this show. Cheers. How about that, Ripman? Torqued
Thanks,
off.
buddy.
That is awesome. Madeline Mixer. Oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that. Madeline Mixer made a $5 donation in the super chat. She says, "Hey, Paramotor Nation and Sean and Jackie." That's really sweet of you, Madeline. Thank you, dear. And there you go. There you go. Johnny? Oh my
What
God,
can I
dude.
say?
I don't know,
What can I
man.
say? I just like to thank everyone for tuning in each and every week. I'm going to miss all you guys on
Yeah.
Sunday night. And Gorilla, you can go pound salt.
This has really been an amazing experience, and it's not over. I can't say that it's over forever, but we're really going to focus more on spending time with the family at this point. It's got to come first. It's got to come first.
That and content, David, too.
Yeah,
Content.
yeah. Oh, wait a minute. There's another comment here for you. It says, in recognition of what you and Ripman have done, everybody has just won free hugs from me. Oh my gosh. Just find me at any fly-in and mention OPN. That is from Todd Scandret of Resurgence.
Nice.
Wow. That, I was going to spin the wheel and give away a paramotor tonight, but that's better right there. What a comment that is right there. There it is. There it is. It's on the screen now. Thank you. Jackie and Sean, I couldn't have asked for two better people to do this show with tonight. So thank you guys so much. Any last words from you? Jackie and Sean.
Look forward to seeing everybody in the future. We're going to start hitting more fly-ins and try to meet more people.
Yeah.
And thanks for
Awesome.
having us, mainly Jackie. I was just here.
Yeah, you kind of...
You're just here to fluff up her wing.
You
To
got
fluff up her glider.
Yeah, you're a wing
Yes.
fluffer. That's it. That's horrible.
You're a fluffer.
You're a fluffer. That's terrible. Thank you, guys. Johnny, what can I say, buddy?
David,
what's the last?
thanks.
I'm giving you the last.
Thanks for this whole thing that you do, and I know the time and effort you put in. You put your heart and soul into this show. You try to put out a really good product, and I think a lot of people know that. And I just want to say thank you, and thank your family for letting you do that. And can't wait to see you, buddy.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Well, guys, that's it. I mean, I if you see me at a fly-in, you'll see me run away when it's time to leave because I hate saying goodbye. And so that's kind of what I'm going to do is I'm going to run away right here. Thank you for letting me be a part of your lives on this show. Yeah, I'll get emotional if I try to say too much else. So thank you on that. I look forward to seeing everybody, maybe in a future show down the road, but obviously seeing everybody at Fly-In. So we'll definitely do that. So like I used to say, John, I used to say, stay safe, but be crazy. And we're out. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thanks.